Greetings and hello, fellow amateur Imagineers. Jacob Wile here, and welcome to a very special edition of Disney Debates Live. It's a clash of old versus new, as we honor the practically perfect in every way, Mary Poppins. As we discuss tonight, tonight's questions. What is the best song in the Mary Poppins series? What is the best performance in any of the two Mary Poppins movies? What single moment best defines Mary Poppins? Take a shot every time we say Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Only one balloon left, Mary Poppins. I think yours.
We should do this entire thing with really terrible Cockney accents.
All right then. And whether coincidentally or not, one of our contestants has all returns, and one of our contestants has all of the original. So it really is a match of old versus new. Speaking of which, it's time to meet our contestants on this jolly holiday with Mary. In this corner, always wondering if the cover is not the book, it's Tiki.
I won't forget Mary Poppins. I promise.
And in the other corner, he works part-time as a penguin waiter. It's SandyClaws.
Penguin waiter, that's me.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Good. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Now, gentlemen.
Jacob, quickly, is the order song then performance then moment, because I had it as performance then moment.
Performance, song, then moment?
That's what I had it as.
All right, let's do it that way.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay, I guess I didn't have them written in order. But, okay. Now, speaking of these, the rules are simple. First, we will use a randomizer to determine which one of you guys goes first. And that will remain throughout the rest of the questions. During each question, I will read the question and explain what I'm looking for. You'll both give an opening statement, and after both is spoken, you'll both duke it out, explaining why yours is truly the more practically perfect pick. After I've heard enough, a sound will go off, ending the round, in which I will decide the winner. After the third round, a coin will be flipped, here called the Tuppence coin.
Tuppence!
In which Tiki or Sandy will get to choose whether to risk gaining or losing a point. After that, a series of speed round questions will ultimately decide the winner. Now, do you both understand the rules?
Yes.
That I do, Mary Poppins.
Sweet. All right, gentlemen. Enter your names alphabetically into the randomizer and go right ahead. And Sandy goes first.
All right.
And first thing I'm going to try and test the sound effects. Or should I just speak loudly and say when the round's over?
I couldn't really hear R2 very much.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Why don't you just I'm trying to think of an appropriate Mary Poppins ism to end the round on.
Let's see. I can't really think of anything.
What if you just yell, Tuppence?
Maybe.
Well, we have to decide soon, buddy.
Just do whatever you want, Jacob. There we go.
Yeah, I hear that. Hold on. Do that one more time, Jacob.
There we go.
Okay, that works. All right, it's not R2, but it'll do. And it's very thematically inappropriate with Mary Poppins, but what? If BMX bikes can be a Mary Poppins and work, so can that.
There's not a lot of Mary Poppins sound effects I can use.
No, I hear you.
Mary Poppins.
I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Just British people saying the name Mary Poppins.
If people during their drinking game, they'd be dead by now.
All right, so what's the first pickup, Jacob? Is it best actor or best song or best
performance?
Best performance. Okay.
All right, gentlemen, as they've just described to me, the first question of the night is best performance. Sandy, since you're going first, tell us your pick.
My pick.
Avenge me. His pick is the Green Goblin.
My pick for best performance is Dick Van Dyke from the original 1964 version of Mary Poppins.
And Tiki, your pick?
I've got Emily Blunt in Mary Poppins Returns.
All right, gentlemen. Now that this question is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll go into what I'm looking for here. The idea is like, why individually is their performance the best? Like, and don't just take other characters into mind. Take themselves in their own roles as well. Like, how well do these characters play the part? How well do they fit it? How iconic have they become? And also take into account, obviously, the strength of their performances among themselves and among others within the movie and the franchise as a whole. Obviously, as you can see. Take every kind of single aspect you can into account and explain why it works so well. You guys understand?
Yep.
Excuse me.
All right, Dick Van Dyke versus Emily Blunt. Go.
All right. Well, I personally feel that Dick Van Dyke is the superior of the two performances because, he's lived a very, very long life, and he had the Dick Van Dyke Show, obviously, that's made him a very big star. But I think what most people recognize him for is this character of Bert that he played so well. And obviously, many qualities of Bert have transferred over to Jack in Mary Poppins Returns, almost a complete, I don't want to say carbon copy of the character, but in a sense, a carbon copy of the character. Of course, for the better of they've added new things and everything. But Dick Van Dyke, he brings such a lighthearted presence to the movie. He's this man of many talents. He's this jack of all trades. He's quite literally a one-man band, and that's how he's introduced. And that first scene, it brings such a great he brings such great passion to the movie and a great lighthearted feel to it that I don't think Julie Andrews would have been able to bring by herself. I mean, after all, it was because of Bert and Dick Van Dyke that we got that great sidewalk chalk scene, as well as Step in Time, and it's Bert and Dick Van Dyke's performance that really conveyed all those messages and brought David Tomlin's character to realize what kind of father he should be. Bert was a very, very important character. He wasn't just some old stick in the mud, throw in the shoe type of guy. He brought a really great type of personality to a character that all around could have been basically just throw in the shoe type of guy. That's it.
All right, Tiki.
Okay, so Emily Blunt, man, I mean, what a challenging role to take on. Filling in the shoes of Julie Andrews. I just commend her for that right away. Just having the boldness to actually do that. And honestly, to me, the thing that makes Emily Blunt's performance stand out so much, to say that it's basically like a situation of, oh my God, she's doing Poppins better than Andrews, man. She's doing Andrews better than Andrews. I feel like she kind of systematically, in a very impressive way, blends what we love about Julie Andrews' Mary Poppins, which is the warmth, the sophistication, the niceties, and we also mix that with just this kind of like sternness to her that, while it was present in the original, kind of gets upped in this movie. because this is a Mary Poppins that I feel like is a little bit more accurate to the book. It's not so much of a radical difference that it feels like the same, that it doesn't feel like the same character. In fact, it absolutely feels like the same character, but it feels like the same character as if 30 years have passed. And to me, the thing that really elevates Emily Blunt's performance is it honestly makes the character of Mary Poppins larger than life. I mean, she emulates Mary Poppins so hard that it's almost as if Mary Poppins is a real person and we've just seen two distinct interpretations of that real person. I think Emily Blunt has got a haunting kind of mysterious quality to her in certain moments that I'll kind of highlight throughout the debate. And I also think she's just wonderfully warm and funny in certain spots. She's got that great mix of elegant British sophistication and harsh, take no nonsense approach to nannying, with obviously all the magic and all the whimsy that you associate with the character. I mean, I was just blown away by her, and she is absolutely the reason Mary Poppins Returns works as well as it does, hands down.
Uh-oh. Jacob, we can't hear you, Val. You're coming in very
barely. Yeah.
Oh boy. I think your headphone jack or something is.
I'm not wearing headphones.
All right, try it again.
Can you guys hear me?
Faintly, yeah.
How about now?
It's getting better. What do you think, Tiki?
Yeah.
There's a lot of scruffiness coming through.
How about now?
No. Okay. Sandy, let's just start debating, all right? Throw the first punch.
Well, Tiki, I
wait.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Stupid Google. Okay, as I was saying, both very convincing arguments, strong opening, guys. Now go ahead and fight the good fight.
We'll try, Jacob. We'll try. Tiki, I commend you on your pick, but I just, no matter how hard anyone tries, for me, I think no one can top the type of character that Julie Andrews brought. Just the all around appeal. Emily Blunt did a very, very good job, but is for creating something as original as Bert. I think Dick Van Dyke has to take the cake. I mean, Emily Blunt was essentially copying a character that had already been done. Dick Van Dyke created this whole new character from scratch, working with what he had. I think he did a fantastic job bringing that lighthearted appeal he did to the first movie. I think 50% of why that movie is so great is Dick Van Dyke and his performance.
Dick Van Dyke is iconic for sure, but I don't think it has anything to do with how good his actual acting is. That's the thing. He's a great song and dance man. He's got an screen presence to him. He's a pretty intriguing character. But at the end of the day, I mean, a fucking awful British accent is an awful British accent. It doesn't matter how iconic the performance is. I mean, that's the thing with Dick Van Dyke. It's like one of the most infamously bad, like endearingly bad performances of all time in film history. That's the thing. It's an endearingly bad performance that was even emulated top to bottom with Lin-Manuel Miranda. But Lin-Manuel Miranda, again, is doing a fucking bad British accent, So, yeah, it's iconic, but I don't necessarily think that makes it the best. I think Emily Blunt has a lot more subtlety with what she's able to pull off. I mean, she just goes the whole freaking gambit of emotions in this movie. She's funny. She's mysterious. I feel like I'm listing all the stuff from my opening arguments. I feel like Emily Blunt even has a little bit of a sadness to her because she kind of approaches things at arm's length. And I feel like that's the big difference between her and Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews was a little bit more warm and motherly than Emily Blunt was. Emily Blunt wants to be motherly, but she knows that, you know, when the wind turns and when the door opens, as the movie suggests, she has to kind of fly off with the wind. And that's kind of the deep sort of tragic element of Mary Poppins that Jacob and I discussed on the spoiler cast for Returns, is the fact that as much as she might love these children, she always has to stay at arm's length from them, and she's not their parents, and she's, you know, and she's not going to be there for any particular amount of time. She's just there to help. And I feel like Emily Blunt kind of captures that essence of the character Travers really wanted to get down in such a nuanced and powerful way.
All right.
Is that it? Is that all you got?
It is. I mean, that's a really good argument. I really am sorry. I can't really.
Oh, come on, Sandy. Come on. Don't do this again. Come on. Fight. It's Dick Van Dyke, damn it. Don't let Dick Van Dyke down.
I don't want to. Jacob, what are you doing over there, man? There's a lot of feedback coming through.
That was supposed to be the noise.
No, I know, but I heard that, but it seems like you're like moving the iPad or the computer, whatever it is, around a lot.
Well, it's kind of hard to keep it steady.
All right, might just hold it or something because there's a lot of feedback coming through. It's pretty hard to listen to. Anyways, who got this round?
Well, I think you guys know that.
I am very disappointed in Sandy.
I'm really sorry. Just the more and more I thought about it.
The argument was actually really good, and it had me somewhat intimidated. So, really? Sandy, I didn't even try with this one, man. You could have done so much better.
I really would have liked to see more fight from you, Sandy. Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of. He basically got you with the whole, oh, his acting is not that good, and you pretty much threw in the towel after that.
Come on, Sandy. In your research and preparation for this thing, did you not know that I was going to throw in he has a shitty British accent? Did you not know that was going to be one of my firing points?
Yeah, I knew.
Come on, you could have done so much. You could have done a lot more with that character.
All right, well, moving on.
All right, now just keep that advice in mind for the next round.
I'll try.
Don't be afraid to give up after the first punch.
I'll try not to.
All right, the next question. What is the best song in the Mary Poppins series?
Okay.
Sandy, your pick?
Let's Go Fly a Kite from the original 1964 Mary Poppins.
And Tiki, yours?
I have Triple Little Light Fantastic from Mary Poppins Returns.
All right, again, old versus new. So this would definitely also be a very interesting argument. Now, again, a lot of these questions are kind of self-explanatory. I mean, there's like, what's the best, what is this, and all that, you know. But what I'm looking for, like, look for the explain why it is the best song. Like, explain obviously why it's the best song, and they're like, what it represents, like what it represents. How does it fit into the movie? Does it fit into the movie? How well does it tie everything together? How is it an overall good song? Is it a good showstopper? Is it basically explain why it's a good song, and then basically use all that to deconstruct and take apart your other team and your other opponent. And so, Sandy, let's go fly a kite.
All right. Well, I feel very, very confident about this. I just want to tell you guys that Let's Go Fly a Kite, I feel, is the not only one of the most recognized, not only Disney songs of all time, but just songs of all time. Especially, you know, from a movie, this song is just, it just takes this movie and just, no pun intended, just brings it up into the air and just brings such a great atmosphere. It's such a great song to the ending of this original 1964 version of Mary Poppins. You have David Tomlinson's character, Mr. Banks, going up to his kids with his hat punched out. He has their kite. which he had taken away from them at the beginning of the movie. It's all patched up. So many things happen in this scene while they're singing this song. We see Mary Poppins up in her window, smiling, knowing what kind of work she's done, good job she's done. Mr. Banks is back together with his kids. She smiles. Dick Van Dyke is out handing kites to kids. Mr. Banks gets his job back, and we see Mr. Dawes up in the air. I think I'm trying to remember if he was yeah,
he has that same sort of like laughing gas effect as
exactly.
I think that was before the song began, though.
Yeah, it was. But his son and the rest of the bankers are up flying kites. That's what it was. So many things happen in this scene that it just ties such a fine series of knots to the end of this movie, all while having this really great catchy tune. It just makes you feel so good inside. All these characters coming together and just being in harmony. It's just a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
All right. So here's the basis of my argument. I honestly do think that Let's Go Fly a Kite ties themes into the movie really well. It does that for sure. I just don't think it's the best song in the franchise. I don't even think it's close to being the best song in the original movie, if I'm being honest. I think there's several songs in the original movie that are better than that song. But let's talk about Triple Little Light Fantastic. Now, Let's Go Fly a Kite is kind of the culmination of everything. Whereas Triple Little Light Fantastic is importantly the centerpiece of the movie. Like, this is where the escapism of Mary Poppins Returns just goes absolutely fucking nuts, and I love it. This song and this sequence just break all the rules in the best of way. It's like BMX bike riders in old-timey London. Sure, why not? It's freaking Mary Poppins, darn it. We can do whatever we want. Let's have a whole section where we're kind of, where we're rhyming in British slang because we're goddamn Mary Poppins. I mean, this song is just so unabashedly British and awesome and spectacular. The choreography is amazing. Lin-Manuel Miranda just absolutely steals the show. I absolutely love the little bit where the kids and Mary speak Leary. I love the bit where Mary's like, "Can I speak Leary?" Oh man, and I love the fact that this song is also a journey too. It kind of starts from that low point in the fog all the way up to the grand crescendo of happiness and delight. And oh man, and I think thematically it really does touch on some great things in the franchise. Like I said, escapism, not letting the dark get you down, finding the light home. I mean, the song is definitely an homage to Step in Time. That much is true. But I will wager to say that Step in Time might be the better sequence overall, just because Step in Time is freaking iconic. But I have no doubt in my mind that Triple Little Light Fantastic is the better song out of those two. Because with Step in Time, it's literally just do this, step in time, do that, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. It's very repetitive. Triple Little Light Fantastic is the opposite of repetitive. It is a very non-linear song in the best of ways. It goes all over the place. It feels like an adventure just listening to that song and all the different directions it goes down. Like I said, that great kind of British slang rap in the middle of it all, which, Sandy, I know you have things to say about that. We'll get into that whole discussion. Overall, I just feel like Triple Little Light Fantastic is bombastic. It's completely what it is. It owns what it is, and it's by far, to me, the most memorable showstopper in the franchise.
Okay, again, you guys both did fantastic there. Time for you guys to duke it out. Now tell me, which one is the best song?
Well, I mean, honestly, walking out of that theater, I was really expecting to have all these great tunes stuck in my head, and that just wasn't the case. I mean, that's not because the songs weren't good. I mean, they were good, but I just do not think they're as memorable as a song as the original songs. Specifically, "Let's Go Fly a Kite." That may not be the best song in the movie, but to tie the movie off, I think it is the perfect song. You do not need to have some big bombastic Broadway spectacular to end off a Mary Poppins movie. I mean, personally, for me, Mary Poppins has never been about escapism. It's been about Mary Poppins coming in and saving the family. That's what these two movies are about. And Let's Go Fly a Kite is a movie about Mr. Banks taking his kids out and bonding with them. That's what it's about. That's why I think it's the better song. Flip a little white light, fantastic.
Trip a Little Light Fantastic.
Trip a Little Light Fantastic. See, I couldn't even remember the freaking title. I'm sorry. It just feels like this big bombastic Broadway thing where they're trying to be this really big, huge thing. And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's about the family. It's not about flying bikes in the air with balloons and whatever. That does not feel like what Mary Poppins should feel like. And yeah, it was nice and bright and colorful, but it did not need to be as huge and big as it was. Let's Go Fly Kite is the perfect song to end off a Mary Poppins movie. End of point.
I mean, Trip a Little Light Fantastic is, like I said, it is absolutely the centerpiece of the whole film.
What kind of title is that? Trip a Little Light Fantastic? I don't even get what that title is supposed to mean.
It's basically an old slang term to basically dance.
All right.
Yeah, and like I said, Sandy, you might not like the British slang in Trip a Little Light Fantastic, but I absolutely think it makes the song. I think it's one of the reasons why, to me, the Return songs stand out even a little bit more than the Sherman Brothers songs that preceded it. The Sherman Brothers songs are iconic, don't get me wrong, but I feel like in terms of just breaking traditional songwriting structure, that classic like verse, chorus kind of deal, I feel like top to bottom, the songs in Returns are better at that. Like, there's just so much more variety in the writing. You go through highs and lows with Trip a Little Light Fantastic. It, like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but it feels like listening to that song. I've listened to that song about 100 times since I've seen the movie in theaters. I'm not exaggerating on that. I might listen to it on YouTube a couple times a day because I like it that much. And every time I listen to it, it takes me on this, on this trip, man. It's got all these different highs and lows to it. It's mysterious in certain points. It's triumphant in certain points. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Sandy, but if you don't think there's escapism in Mary Poppins, I kind of think you're reading the movies wrong, because I feel like Mary Poppins is all about escapism. I feel like that's the whole point of the movies. It's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's Mary Poppins coming to save this family, but how does she save this family? She saves the family by letting them embrace their childlike charms and qualities again. And that's the whole point. That's the arc of George Banks. That's the arc of Michael Banks in Returns. It's learning to embrace your inner childhood again, learning to let go.
I agree. Yeah. It sounded like before, like that's all Mary Poppins was, is escapism. That's all it is.
No, but I feel like escapism is a giant part of the franchise. I mean, just saying that it's not a part of the franchise at all, I think, is a little ignorant, because Mary Poppins was a very, very innovative film for the time. And so that alone, just all the effects work done on that original movie. I mean, you're a fool if you don't think that's escapism entertainment, my friend. Really. I mean, it's just, it takes you into another world. It's not like, it's not like a fucking Narnia or anything like that. It's a fantasy world based on, a historical time period, but it's still Disney's world, man. It's still a completely immersive experience in both the original and the sequel. But I digress. We're getting off point from the songs here. I mean, you mentioned that. I just want to kind of go through just for, how can you say that Let's Go Fly a Kite is a better song than Feed the Birds?
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You literally said it was the best song in the movie.
No, I did not. I said it's not. It may not be the best song in the movie, but it's the perfect song to end off the movie.
All right, fine. I was trying to bait you there. All right. You caught me.
See, Tiki's trying to Tiki's trying to fish his way out of things because he knows he's gonna lose.
All right. I mean, honestly, I just think that Triple Little Light Fantastic is a giant showcase for Lin-Manuel Miranda's talents. And I think that's another reason why I give it a point. Lin-Manuel Miranda is such a welcome addition to this franchise. And he just has such a warmth and energy and childlike spontaneity about him. And I love his character, man. And I love how he just, honestly, to me, the fact that he shows up almost randomly at the beginning of the song kind of speaks to the magical realism kind of quality of the Jack character. And then the way the song plays out just kind of emphasizes that whole quality to him. And also, you know, I don't know. I honestly think that the balloon song from Returns is maybe a little bit better than Let's Go Fly a Kite, if I'm being honest. I think it's a little bit more triumphant. I think it's definitely more visually interesting. And I think it's more catchy. So, like I said, I feel like Let's Go Fly a Kite, it's certainly a really good song that ties the themes together, but I feel like it's lost in the shuffle. I don't think it's as important of a Mary Poppins song as Feed the Birds. I don't think it's nearly as iconic as something like Spoonful of Sugar or Chim Chim Cheree or Step in Time. And at the end of the day, it's just a really good song, but that's kind of all it is. I don't think anyone ever, besides Sandy, has said it's the best song in the franchise.
Okay, well, let me just make this other point here before we tie things off. No pun intended, since we're talking about kites here. But the very first words of the song, Let's Go Fly Kite, is with tuppence and paper and strings. Tuppence being Mr. Banks, working for the bank. Paper being the kids who are constantly finding themselves in all these bizarre situations, getting lost and having the police bring them home. And strings, Mary Poppins, which is tying everything together. Henceforth, a kite. This is the perfect song because it takes all of these things that this movie is about. The kids, Mary Poppins, and David Tomlin's character, Mr. Banks. It's bring it all together, and that's what this song is about. Let's go fly a kite. That's this movie's. I feel I don't know if that was the intention of what they were trying to do, but that's what I personally pull out of it. And I think when you think about it that way, it brings this whole new meaning to the song. And just again,
whoops.
All right. Well, that's fine. I got my point across.
All right. Okay, guys, I must admit that was definitely an improvement over the last round.
Can I ask a really important question to kind of lighten the mood?
Yes.
What is that white shit on Mr. Banks' face?
That's his collar.
Oh, it's his collar? It's like really poking out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his collar's unhinged. It's ripped off.
Oh, that's right. Because that actually the movie. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, it was just bothering me. Like, is that a bandage or what?
Okay, I was actually confused about that myself.
Yeah, it's collar.
All right.
Okay, this round was definitely an interesting one, guys. You actually guys had me swinging back and forth between your guys' songs. Like, you guys both raised excellent arguments. Like, Diggy, you brought up like the show-stopping aspects. Sandy, you brought up like the more emotional aspect and how it ties everything together. You guys both did excellent this round. Like, both raised excellent arguments as to why you went with these ones. Even though, Sandy, if you don't think this song is the best, you probably should have gone with the one you actually did think was the best. But I applaud you for using the strategy. And that and a lot of the points, especially the point towards the end where you talked about like not only how it might tie everything together, even though it was like might not be what they intended, but the applicability of it. I think that's why you earned this round.
All right.
Trust me, it was like you guys were inches apart.
Yeah, that was tough.
But Sandy, you just mainly do that little speech at the end. that caused you to inch ahead.
Yeah, I knew if I let Tiki get the better half of the round there, I would have lost entirely.
Like you did in round 1, for example.
Yeah, because I keep speaking first, then you make your big point at the end, and that's what's fresh on Jacob's mind. So that's what he goes with.
Well, now that you guys both have a strategy, now you guys both know that strategy. You can either play with it or subvert it this time around.
Okay.
And what a good question to do it on with. What single moment defines Mary Poppins? Now, did you intend not only as a character, but as a friend? Like, you did intend it as like a character, right? And Mary Poppins as a character instead of the
yes,
franchise.
it defines Mary Poppins as a character, not as a franchise. Yes,
that's what I was guessing anyway. That's what I was figuring. That's how I was going to describe it. But I just wanted to make sure. But yes, we all know her. We all know her. We all love her. She's practically perfect in every way. But what defines her? What defines this mysterious Mary Poppins, and why? I want you guys to explain to me. Like, imagine that I've never seen Mary Poppins, and you just show me these, and show me these images, and tell me these scenes, and explain what about her. What about this defines her as a character? All right, Sandy.
Okay. Well, the scene I chose to go with was the magic bag scene from 1964 when Mary Poppins first gets to the home, and she finds the disarray her own room where she'll be staying is in, not because it's messy, just because it looks really ugly. And she decides to spruce it up. She pulls all these marvelous special effects out of her bag, and it really tells us. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, you don't need to go into that whole spiel just yet. Save it for the debate.
Oh, we're not debating yet. Okay.
No, it's just like I was just telling you guys to tell me your picks.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You can repeat all that when you go into the debate itself.
All right.
And Tiki, your point?
I chose the moment where Mary Poppins reunites with Michael and Jane Banks 30 years later, and Mary Poppins returns.
Okay, both very interesting picks. But okay, and again, tell me like what about these scenes define Mary Poppins as a character? And also take into account the different interpretations of these characters as well when you talk about it. Because if you bring those in, they could make for a very interesting argument. All right, Sandy, your opening statement.
Okay, well, this scene again, like I said before, just repeat myself a little bit here. When she first gets to the house and she's setting up her room, and decides to pull all these objects out of her bag. What's that noise?
I'm just opening my bottle.
Okay.
Sorry.
And she's pulling all these items out of her bag. And she does this really marvelous scene where Jane and Michael are trying to figure out how in the world she's pulling these giant plants and this coat rack out of her bag. It tells us who we're asking ourselves when we're seeing this movie. Okay, who is Mary Poppins? What is she doing? And she without really saying anything, she just pulling these things out of her bag. We know, okay, this is the type of person she is. She's like this kind of magical nanny, I guess you could say. And of course, it's the same scene where she's measuring Jane and Michael, and the iconic phrase "practically perfect in every way." Of course, this is where it comes from. So we know this person really is the perfect nanny, and she's also magic. I mean, this completely defines who Mary Poppins is as a character.
Okay. All right.
Tiki, your pick, and what happened to the pictures?
Okay, so my moment.
Tiki, we don't need to see Facebook.
What?
We don't need to see your Facebook page.
Pictures are gone.
Oh, that closed. My bad. Okay, my bad. Hold on. Weird.
All right. brief pause for a brief intermission.
That's really weird. I don't know how that happened.
All right. Do you guys want to like plug something while Tiki gets it back up?
All right. Well, it's okay. I can.
Or Tiki can just tell us his pick while he tries to get the pictures back up.
I legitimately don't know how that.
Is the screen frozen?
Okay. Well, I can do.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and your pick.
Okay, shit, Sandy, it's your fault.
Why?
You hacked my Facebook. You intentionally threw me off.
Okay then.
That's right.
All right, so
we don't need the pictures right now.
Okay. So I love this moment where Michael and Jane are reunited with Mary Poppins because it just absolutely speaks to the type of character that Mary Poppins is, the legacy that she has, the fact that the fact that she hasn't aged a day, that she's very quick to just get right back in the swing of things, like, close your mouth, please, Michael. We are not a codfish. And that great, really, how rude. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, I love the, this is the first moment in Returns where we hear Spoonful of Sugar, where we hear any of the original songs. So that kind of just takes you back. And I love all the little moments and cadences with Emily Blunt that just kind of make this. She's a very timeless character. Of course, one of the moments that people talk about it being like, wow, that's like spot on with Julie Andrews, is when she's wiping the dust off the table and she's like, I've come to look after the bank's children. Us? Oh yes, you too. I mean, that to me, that exchange sums up Mary Poppins. She's not here to look out after the kids. The kids are kind of just an accessory in this whole thing. She's really here to look after the adults. She's really here to put the parents' lives back on track. And yeah, I don't know. I thought I had more to say about this than I do, but that's about it. Just just overall a really interesting. I kind of feel like I'm botching this. Let's just get into it.
Okay. Interesting openings. Considering the brevity of these scenes, this question might not go on for very long, but do get out to the best of your guys' abilities. And again, some is like not only take into account the scenes themselves, but the various interpretations of these characters. Like, as you guys have both mentioned, they're both kind of different interpretations of the same character. So take that into mind too. All right, duke it out.
All right. Well, very interesting observations, Tiki. Very interesting indeed. And you went on a lot about escapism in your last argument, or the argument before that. I can't remember. The last argument, and how Mary Poppins is all about bringing out your inner child and everything like that. Well, I think that's exactly what my pick is here. The Magic Bag scene from 1964. It's exactly this. This defines Mary Poppins with her escapism and her methods of doing things. All these things come so naturally to her. They don't really. She pulls a giant coat hat rack out of her bag like it's nothing. That's exactly how she approaches everything else. I think I think her saying looking after the bank's children, and Mr. Bank saying us too. No, yeah, you too. That's nice. It's a great observation to pick up on that. But as an audience goes, audiences usually aren't going to think, oh yeah, I'm kind of tying that back to Julie Andrews and all this thing. I'm putting all these pieces together. Usually, audiences in theater aren't going to do that. They need something. Most audiences at least need something visual to see, and that's exactly what this 1964 Magic Bag scene is. She's visually telling you. If you can visually show something to the audience without having to spell it out, that's going to work a whole lot more.
Shit, I've got to be honest. I don't have much defense about that. Damn. not saying I'm giving up. I'm just saying I'm kind of.
If you need a moment to think about it, just go ahead. You can have a moment to think about it.
I won't sound the alarm just yet.
I mean, I definitely think that the timeless quality of Mary Poppins is more on display in my moment. Like Ezra, I think yours is just kind of like a general introduction to the character. If anything, it's more kind of like visual exposition in a way. It's just kind of like, all right, Mary Poppins can do this, and she can do this, and she can do this. It's just kind of explaining the moveset of the character in a way. Whereas I feel like my moment is more about the spirit of the character, because I feel like it's probably the scene in the film that Emily Blunt gets closest to Julie Andrews, and for good reason. I also think that the actors playing the Banks children are freaking spot on. Like in these moments, the two actors here, you can really just tell like they're doing their best to play adult versions of the kids that we saw. And just that reunion quality, just that whole like, oh my God, like I thought I'd never see you again. Like I thought you were like out of a dream or something. I mean, I don't know. There's something about kind of like reconnecting with something from your childhood that's like so powerful that you almost don't even believe it actually happened. That to me kind of defines the franchise. Like I love that, and defines the character. Mary Poppins is that kind of larger than life thing that happens to you that you almost can't believe.
Okay, well, as I said before, I mean, this is. I think you're going off on more than one thing here. We're talking about this very brief introduction she gets in returns, where it's basically just saying, "Oh yes, I'm here to look after the children and you, of course." But it's more than that. I mean, like I said before, the audience isn't really going to put those pieces of the puzzle together. They might afterwards, but in the theater, they're not really going to be thinking about all these things. As far as building character go and exposition, you said yourself that it's more about just the creativity. Mary Poppins is more about the creativity and bringing out your inner child. I mean, you said that yourself in your very last argument. So I think you saying that it's not really, that shouldn't be counted as something that's, very big about Mary Poppins' character is kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I think I think it is very, very important. And this scene very definitely it explains that and not explains it. It shows us visually very, very well.
Oh my God, what the fuck happened? I'm sorry, I don't know what keeps happening here. I literally just leave it and switch to another tab, and like as I switch. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's fine. Weird. Huh. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just about done. But like I said before, I just be repeating myself now. It's all visual. They could have done this many other ways, but this is a very, very creative way of showing us what kind of person Mary Poppins is. A very magical person, and practically perfect in every way. I'm just going to throw that back out there.
I got nothing.
I love how just completely rude that buzzer is.
Sorry,
the best way.
It's the first thing that came up when I typed air horn. Again, you guys both had very strong arguments and picks here. Although I definitely heard more lobby against the return scene than I definitely did the original. Like, you're pretty much your only argument against the 1964 run was the fact that it was basically a special effects showcase, which isn't wrong, but which isn't wrong. Which technically it pretty much is, and it's a very impressive one at that. But that's pretty, honestly, Tiki, that's really the only major argument you lobbied against it. Like, where Sandy brought up the point, like, it explains the character without really having to say much. Sets up, like, pretty much everything about the character, while yours basically just, like, as Sandy pointed out, just says, hello. He's like, Mary Poppins, you haven't aged a day. Very rude, Michael. Like, and while, yes, both of these define Mary Poppins as a character, honestly, and both very well, and even the different interpretations of the character, I still think Sandy ultimately explained his points slightly better than you did.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I was. I don't know. I could have picked something better here.
Can I just throw something else out there? Just something I noticed. I'm not trying to still press my choice here, but do you mind if I just say something quick, Jacob?
Go right ahead.
I feel like the magic bag scene is kind of like the bathtub scene where she's throwing all the stuff in the bathtub. That I'm saying, where she's building herself up.
That's kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I just made that. I just realized that comparison. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, she's literally pulling stuff out of the same bag in the bathtub scene. So yeah, it's. I would say that's a pretty apt comparison.
Anyways.
Okay, so interesting debate, guys, and now the pictures are gone again.
Well, yeah, because I'm switching to a new tab. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. All right, next up is the moment we've been waiting for, the Tuppence coin.
Okay.
where one of you guys will be able to, well, both of you technically, I should say, have the option to flip the coin and either earn a point if it's heads or lose a point if it's tails. You both have the option to both accept and refuse. All right, so wait for this tab to load.
This thing will ever fucking load. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's
all right.
All right, Sandy.
Yes.
Would you like to,
right.
Sandy? Would you like to flip? Would you like to flip? You have 2 points. Would you like to flip?
No.
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 Okay.
Oh boy.
Sandy sticks with 2. Tiki, are you gonna flip?
Let me ask you this, Jacob. How many points are we playing to for the speed round?
The usual one. Like if you're like 3 points ahead and you have 5 points, you win. Basically.
So we're playing to 5 points.
Is that usually?
So we're playing to. You're saying?
Is that how we? How you guys don't? Isn't that how we usually do it?
Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure.
Like play to 5.
All right, I'll go ahead and flip.
All right.
Fuck.
All right. It's Sandy 2, Tiki nothing.
Oh man.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Tiki, since there are still 3 questions, Sandy needs to get 3 questions, and you could easily come in and sweep all of them.
No, I hear you. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to start with an interesting one.
And Jacob, I just to clarify, I assume these are all still Mary Poppins themed.
Yes, I tried to keep everything Mary Poppins themed.
Okay.
No, it's a Transformers round.
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's like who was the better voice actor for Optimus Prime? Okay, but I'm going to start with an interesting one. Would you rather go to the chalk drawing or the Dalton Bowl?
The chalk drawing.
Ah, crap. Who was first? Okay.
All right, so Tiki has chalk drawing.
Oh, okay. All right, we both said at the same time. I was wondering if you heard who said it first.
Yeah, I think Tiki said it first.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I heard myself say it first. I mean, I'm not trying to like rig it or anything, but I myself say it first.
Yeah, I heard Tiki say it first. So, Tiki, you get the chalk drawing, and Sandy, the Dalton Bowl.
All right. So we're basically just debating why one is better together.
Like which one's better, and why we guys would rather go to that particular one, or
why would you want to go there?
Pretty much. So again, the way these speed rounds work is that both of them will have alternating between a 30-second. Both of them will have a 30-second opening and a 15-second rebuttal. After which I will decide who had the stronger argument. Again, as I just said earlier, the first to 5 wins.
All right. Okay, let's do it.
Tiki, chalk drawing.
So the chalk drawing is awesome and iconic, and everyone freaking loves it. I spend most of my time saying why the Dalton Bowl is basically kind of terrible. Like, to me, as much as we love the animation in it, it might be the weakest section of Returns just because it's uneven. It packs yourself in with really heavy symbolism. And also, it's really dangerous. Like, who wants to actually go to that bowl with like all the glass and everything, and the Colin Firth wolf?
Sorry, I didn't have the thing pulled up.
That's all good.
All right, Sandy, arguing the Dalton Bowl.
All right. Well, personally, I would want to go to the Dalton Bowl because I mean, it's really fun and stuff. I would not want to go to the chalk drawing because the rain is going to wash you away and you're going to die. It's not gonna be very fun. You're gonna get washed away. Not to mention all the people stepping on you because you are a freaking chalk drawing. Whereas a nice bowl, it's up on a shelf, being treated with the utmost care because it was your mother's, and no one's gonna do anything to it.
Okay, yeah, but if that bowl falls, you're fucked. I mean, really. And I don't know. I just think that the chalk drawing has a lot more consistency to it. It's basically like, an English tea garden, whereas the Royal Dalton Ball, like, what the hell is it?
The bowl is a circus. I mean, that's what I thought. It's a circus stage show, basically. Yeah, again, rain. It's gonna wash your ass away. You're going to die. Just gonna say that again. You're going to die.
Oh man.
Okay, let me just say this up front. If humor was the deciding factor, Sandy, you would have gotten this.
Can I just say one thing else? Why can't they go to like a nice mural on the wall? Why does it have to be some like dangerous like bowl or sidewalk chalk something? Why can't they just go to a nice mural or something?
I said, if humor was the deciding factor, Sandy, you would have gotten this, but I honestly think Tiki made a more convincing argument as to why you'd rather go into the chalk drawing.
Yeah, so I agree.
2-1.
All right.
Let's be honest. The chalk drawing is always going to be iconic. It's always going to be better than the frickin' bowl. I mean, we get the penguins. We get that really cool horse chase. Not to mention the merry-go-round horses, and I mean that iconic song, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much packed in there. It's wonderful.
I just thought that'd be an interesting question to start out on.
It's a jolly holiday with Mary. Oh my gosh, there's so much in that scene. It's beautiful.
I just thought it'd be an interesting scene to start out on.
Oh yeah, good choice.
Okay. Let's see. Here's one that could be like I have another one, but it could be a different. Like I came with two different versions of it. Like one that could, and you guys can choose which one you'd rather have it be. All right. Which Muppet would make a good stand-in for Bert, or make a good Bert or Jack stand-in? And the alternate question is, which Muppet would make a good deuteragonist in the vein of Bert and Jack? Which version would you guys rather do?
What was the first one? Can you repeat them again? I got kind of confused.
Which Muppet would be a good Bert or Jack stand-in? Like, which one would good playing the roles of Bert and Jack?
Oh.
Bert or Jack. And which Muppet, like, again, like, if a hypothetical sequel or so was made, or if, like, a parody or whatever, which Muppet would be a good deuteragonist in the vein of them? Like, what a good character to play their roles? Like, instead of playing those characters, play, like, a similar part.
Oh. I think probably the first one, because they both kind of mean the same thing. I think the first one's more straightforward, though. I don't know. I think the first one, we should go with the first one.
All right, Teddy, what do you think?
Yeah. Let's go with the first one.
All right. Which Muppet would make a good Bert or Jack stand-in?
Gonzo. Oh, wait. Sorry. You can have Gonzo. I'll have Rolf, Tiki.
Really? Oh, cool. All right, thank you. I'm like, fuck. You know I love Gonzo, man.
I know.
Like, especially since you got to hang out with Dave.
You?
Especially since you got to hang out with Dave Goals.
Yeah. I'll go with Rolf, though.
I wouldn't say hang out with Dave Goals. I would more say mildly annoy Dave Goals.
you get to witness Dave Goals.
Pretty much.
All right, so technically, though Sandy switched, he did speak first.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So, per the rules, Sandy, you go first.
All right. Well, Rolf the dog is iconic character. I mean, this is Rolf the dog we're talking about. He's very heartwarming. He's down to earth. He knows how to fix things. He knows how to play the piano. He knows how to be musical. You know, put Gonzo in there. Gonzo's going to screw everything up. He's gonna light that candle and set his nose on fire and probably die. Rolf, you know, he's gonna make some chalk drawings. He's gonna play the piano. He's gonna be that sidewalk one man band musicianist. He's musician. He's your Bert guy. He's your Bert guy.
Gonzo has already played classic British with A Christmas Carol, so he's already got the range for pulling off a classic British character. I think Gonzo is a perfect stand-in for the Bert archetype because, much like those two characters, he's a jack of all trades. Not only has he had a multitude of different careers over his time in the Muppets, but most importantly, he's a daredevil. Like, you want someone to replicate that turning back time sequence from Returns, Gonzo would be more than happy to do it.
Can we turn that down? Or do you think that's good enough?
That's fine.
All right.
I'd rather it be too loud than not loud enough.
Yeah.
All right, go right ahead with the rebuttal, Sandy.
Rolf is the type of guy I trust my kids with. All right, Gonzo, not so much. Gonzo is a daredevil. Yes, that's very true. But Gonzo, I do not want him being a daredevil around the bank's children. I can just say that. Rolf is down to earth. He's heartwarming, and he's welcome, inviting.
All right. To be fair, I'll give Tiki till 17 seconds.
Okay. I mean, one of the big defining factors of Bert and Jack is that they're kind of daredevils, man. They're these kind of salt of the earth characters that risk life and limb. And also, I just think Rolf is a very static character. Yeah, he plays piano and he's a humble guy. That's about it.
Okay, this is definitely an interesting argument for sure. Although, like, I was leaning one way, but now I'm leaning another way. This is definitely a tough one because I would definitely like to see both of them in this kind of role. Although Tiki's arguments won me over with the whole, like, he's done these kind of roles before, the Christmas Carol aspect, and the fact that although you could imagine that Gonzo can be down to earth as well. I think if you would have mentioned that would have been a stronger point, but Tiki still gets the point.
All right, 2-2.
Who got the point last time? Was that? That was Tiki. Yeah, that's Tiki. Okay.
Tiki's pretty much recovered from the coin toss.
All right.
It's now or nothing.
All right.
Wait, how many speedrun questions have we done, Jacob?
That was only the second question.
Okay, let's play to 5 speedrun questions total.
Okay.
Okay, so that was 2.
Okay.
So they need to choose 3 more questions.
All right.
Okay, this is
if we do end up with a tie.
Okay, I mean, I didn't have a lot of time to workshop these as I did with other projects, but I'll try and pick ones that you guys will find interesting. Okay. Here's one. If Emily Blunt wasn't cast as Mary Poppins, who would have been a good alternative?
Oh gosh.
Oh god, shit. Emily Blunt is so perfect.
Exactly. You want me to skip that one, or do you not want to do
No, I like it. You know what? I'm gonna go with Meryl fucking Streep.
What? No. No. Okay. All right.
Give me something better.
All right, Sandy, what's your pick?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with any American actresses or British actresses or whatever. Man, I don't really like the question because I don't know anyone. I mean, the Muppets.
Emma Watson.
No.
No, not Emma Watson.
You know you want to pick her, Sandy. You know you want her tuned vocals.
Probably not.
And should I switch the question?
I mean, I hate doing this, but I just don't know any actresses. I really don't. I don't mean I'm honestly I'm not really familiar with any like actors that off the top of my head that I could suggest for a good part in a movie or anything. I'm just not good at that stuff.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's question, Jacob.
Could I switch the question? Like, who would you cast as like if she was American or something?
No.
Okay, no. Let me find another question. Okay, how about this? If you could cut a character from the first movie, who would it be and why?
Uncle Albert.
Now, Sandy, I know you can do something with this one.
How about Man, I just love all the characters there.
Or I guess technically you could extend it to both movies.
Now let's stick with the original. Everyone knows the original.
Okay.
How about Admiral Boom?
Oh, I love Admiral Boom.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay, explain. All right, Tiki, you went with Uncle Albert, and Sandy with Admiral Boom.
All right. Really quick, I don't want this to affect my my debate at all, but I feel like I'd have a far better argument for why Admiral Boom shouldn't be cut out of Returns. I feel like he has a better role in that movie.
Okay, all right, let's just save everything for the discussion.
I'm just saying I'm not going to use that in my argument. I'm just kind of it's like an interesting little factoid I'm just pointing out. All right. Okay, so what the fuck is up with what the hell is up with the I love to laugh sequence, man? It just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's basically irrelevant to the plot except for look, the manager of the bank is floating just like Edwin floated. We all float. I mean, it's just pointless. To me, Admiral Boom, he's an ancillary character, but I feel like he adds a lot of thematic symbolism to the movie in ways that I'll go over in my rebuttal.
Sandy?
Honestly, I've never understood the Admiral Boom character or he seems like the type of character that'd be introduced in one of Mary Poppins, like the chalk sequence or something like that. He doesn't seem like the type of character who would actually live in this type of world with a giant ship on top of his house and whatnot. It seems really out of place for this classical London setting. I don't think the character's necessary in either of the movies. I don't think he's necessary.
So Admiral Boom's house with the ship is the first taste of like magical realism that we get in the movie. That's very important. I also think that the whole thing with him firing off the cannon is very symbolic of the Banks family and the Banks house literally shaking at its foundation. So those two reasons alone, man. All right, I get it. I'm done. I mean,
like, it was an accident.
All right.
Well, you gotta love symbolism, right?
Really? Okay, you do realize I could literally pull symbolic stuff out of my ass about anything.
You just snagged the good one. I mean, Uncle Albert really doesn't hold much of anything within, being Ed Wynn. I mean,
no, he really doesn't. I mean, I would say I even like Meryl Streep's role a little bit more as much as I love Ed.
I could not stand Meryl Streep in Returns. I could not stand it.
I couldn't stand it the first time, but after I've seen it 3 times, she's kind of grown on me a little bit.
I don't understand what the importance of her character is, and she is just so gosh darn annoying. I'm serious. She's just so annoying.
Okay, that was interesting, to say the least. That was the third speed round question. Tiki leads with 3, and now Sandy has 2.
All right.
This is going to end well.
Okay, this could be more into with some of your questions.
Wait, and okay, so we have 2 questions left, right?
Yes, unless Sandy. Wait, technically now we can only do 2 more because one of you would.
Well, I'm saying if I win this one, then Sandy wouldn't have a chance to come back.
Yes.
Because Sandy would have to tie me on this one.
Yes. So this one could potentially be for all the marbles. And this would definitely be an interesting question. Okay. What is one thing you would change about Mary Poppins Returns?
I would very heavily readjust the whole animated sequence, or not have it in there at all, because it just seems very rushed and only in there because the original had it.
Save it for the argument.
Okay.
Okay, Sandy has the animated segment. But which animated segment? The rubber duck thing or the Dalton Bowl?
No, the Dalton Bowl. That's the animated segment.
All right, Dalton Bowl and Tiki.
Pretty simply, I would make the Colin Firth character like a little bit more like the bankers in the original movie, and a little less mustache twirly villain.
Okay, this will definitely be a very interesting question. Answers, especially to condense it into a total of 45 seconds. All right, what would you guys change? Sandy has the Dalton Bowl sequence, and Tiki has William Witherall Wilkins.
But yes, what?
William Witherall Wilkins. That's Colin Firth's character.
I'm not going to call. I'm just going to call him Colin Firth.
I know. You can just say what do you mean?
What scene was that from? What is he talking about?
Colin Firth, the bad guy, the banker guy.
Oh, okay.
He was the Dawes steps or son-in-law.
Yeah, like basically, Sandy, my argument would be the one thing I would change about Returns is to make that guy like still keep him in the film, but just make him less mustache twirly.
Oh, all right. Well, say it for the argument. Don't tell me now.
I'm just so you know what you're up against.
Okay, one that could potentially be for all the marbles, or to push it on to the final round. Sandy, you're first with the Dalton Bowl.
All right. Well, I would have. I like the animated segment. I like that they kept the idea of it in there. They kept the 2D animation style in there, for the most part. But I would have very heavily altered that whole animated segment. First of all, there's only one song. It's just what? What did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Were you talking to me?
Yeah.
Sandy, you get another 15 seconds.
Yeah, sorry about that, Sandy. I was going to make a point, but then I didn't want to interrupt you. So
okay, all right.
I'll let you talk to Actually, no. Considering he stopped for 5 seconds, I'll give him 20 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
What was I saying?
Now you were saying how talking about the songs.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was saying there's only one song. It makes it feel very, very rushed. In the original, it's like an entire segment of the movie where it feels like, okay, they're bringing this out a little bit more. It feels better. It feels more fluid, it flows better. With this one, it just feels like they're trying to cram it all in here just to, just to make people happy and make them remember the original.
All right, Tiki, 30 seconds.
The Royal Dalton Bowl has 2 songs in it. I don't know why you're not counting a cover as not the book. It's still in that same world.
Oh, crap. You're right.
Cover It's Not the Book is one of my favorite songs in that whole movie. And I don't know, man. I just think that Colin Firth's character is good in theory, but he's just way too mustache twirly, and he just adds a layer of corniness to the plot that's not needed for Mary Poppins. And he's the hardest thing to defend about Returns in my eyes.
Yeah, the animated segment in Returns is still just it feels very, very rushed. And it may not, that's the way it felt first time.
Stop. Sorry, I accidentally clicked on the link. My bad. Darn it, Google. Darn it, laggy internet.
All right, I'll get a timer set up.
No, I got it, Jacob. I got it.
Are you sure?
I think so. Yeah, I got it. Let's do it. All right, Sandy, I'm sorry. Start over.
Okay. What was it? Where was it?
You can just start over.
Okay, where was I though? What was going to say? It feels the animated segment in Returns. The animated segment in Returns feels very, very rushed. Like I was saying again, it feels like they only have it in there. Like they only have it in there for fan service, I guess is the best word I could use.
No, he gets 30 seconds, Jacob. That wasn't his rebuttal.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You went first. My bad. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Let me formulate my thoughts for just a second. So, yeah, I mean...
Sorry, that was my mistake.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Sorry, folks. I'm sorry, Tiki.
Okay, so the one thing that I would change about the animated sequence would, ironically enough, be not putting that freaking Colin Firth character in as that wolf with the obvious symbolism and the stupid action scene. I like everything else about that sequence.
Okay, you guys both picked very good things that you would change about there. Both very valid things that could be addressed in the movie. Although ultimately, Sandy, you didn't really say much in defense of Colin Firth's character.
That's true. Yeah.
Basically, a lot of your arguments were like, it's too rushed. I mean, you probably repeated that like 5 times.
Well, I mean, I only had like 2, I was talking for like 45 seconds. I don't think I had enough room to say it 5 times. Anyway, I understand what you're saying.
It was an exaggeration. But the main point is that you didn't really lobby enough against Colin Firth's character. Well, Tiki raised good points about both your character, about changing Colin Firth's character, making him less of a mustache twirly kind of villain, and actually pointed out several good aspects of the Dalton Bowl sequence. So Tiki gets this point. And
woo!
And I believe that concludes the game.
I'm a warrior. I'm number 1.
All right, gentlemen, that was extremely well fought.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
It was fun. It was very niche. It's one of the more niche debates that we've done. But hey, I think that was I honestly think this might be a good format to kind of experiment more with in the future. I don't want to say it's 100% in the books yet, but we're kind of experimenting around with the idea of a How to Train Your Dragons debate in February. I would say either a Dragons debate or a DreamWorks debate, kind of redeeming that kind of train wreck debate we did on DreamWorks a couple of months ago.
Sorry about that, you folks.
No. It was completely my fault. I went way too ambitious with the randomization, Jacob. I take all the blame.
I mean, if we do another randomization, we definitely just like keep it down to like 5 characters instead of like
12. Right.
And you guys have to both come up with them so you could.
Yeah.
Instead of like coming up with a whole bunch of random ones. Okay, but I digress. Tiki, Sandy, you guys both fought it extremely well tonight. I'm proud of both of you.
Thanks.
You guys both did Mary proud. All right. Any final thoughts from you guys today?
Come on, join us in a bit of kick and prance. Kick and prance, that means dance. It's Larry Spike.